Hey guys, DJ Urbanovsky with American Kami Custom Blades out of Omaha, Nebraska, and here today to talk with you about my new GITFO knives. Thrust of this video is just going to be to discuss the knives themselves. We'll go ahead and cover the features on them, carry options, safety, and then how to set up the knife with the lanyard system like I prefer it. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get down to brass tacks. Your package is going to come with the actual knife itself with the sheath. This is the knife. It is going to come with a cord lock, and it is going to come with a bight of 550 cord right here. First, since we're in this situation here, we're just going to go over how to set up the knife with the lanyard system. It's really pretty simple. This is kind of my revised way. If you've seen the previous videos, you're familiar with the lanyard system. This does away with some of the complexity of it. It's a lot more simple to deal with. You don't have to gut the paracord, and it's still very adjustable, so you get a lot more mileage out of this. So let's get down to it. This is how I weave it through. You of course can use whatever method you want. This is just how I do it. So we'll go ahead and pass this cord through here and through here. So we got a bite of it sticking out the end, and then we got this end right here. We're just going to weave this through our grommets and then through the one at the tip right there. And then we'll go ahead and just give it a tug, and we'll even things up just like that. And then we've already melted our ends on this. Your cord won't come with melted ends. You'll have to do that. It's quick and easy. Use a Bic lighter, melt them, and then just kind of tug them so that you don't get a big old ball on the end. Otherwise you won't be able to pass them through this cord lock. So I'm just going to go ahead and slide these guys through here, one after the other, like so. Get in your home. There we go. And we'll just kind of slide this up here. We've got our ends nice and even. And then I like to put 2 knots down here at the end. There's one. There's 2. Just like that. And then we'll go ahead and slide our adjuster, our cord lock, all the way down to the end here. So now we've got our lanyard system set up on the knife. You could of course wear this thing around your neck. As usual, I don't advocate that. I don't like giving people an option to choke me or a leash to lead me around with, so I don't do that. If you're gonna wear the knife like up here on your torso, I would recommend Merc harness. You can get it from him, or you can get it from CRKT. That's a great piece of kit. Highly recommend it. So, okay, here's how we wear the knife. It's going to be the same way that you wear my other knives, and still very adjustable, so you can adjust your ride height, where it rides, position it wherever you want, basically. And of course, this is 1.5 inch hole spacing. So it's going to work with most of the industry standard sheath mounting options out there. If you want to use Tech Locks, Molly Locks, G-Codes, RTI stuff, you've got options, okay? You don't have to use the cord. This is what I like, so this is what I send with the knives. So to put the knife on, I'm just going to let it hang. We're going to grab this end of the cord. This is going to go behind our belt and then up, and it's going to go on the left-hand side of our belt loop. If I'm a righty, you would reverse this obviously if you're left-hand dominant. So we got our tail sticking out here. The knife goes through the hole in the cord, goes through that loop right there, and then we're going to take up our slack right here until we think we've got it where we want it to ride. From experience, I know that's about where I want that to ride. We tuck the knife in our pants. We got this tail sticking out here. We'll just flip this around behind our belt. And then added bonus is you've got a little loop here that you can hook your keys on and whatnot, and then it really doesn't look like anything at all. The knife is diminutive, so as you can see, like I've said before, not a huge dude, pretty much average size. The knife melts away. You can't see that this knife is here until you need to access it, at which point the knife is out and ready to use. So I mean, it's lightning quick to deploy this thing, and we're ready to go. To resheath it, we're just going to grab the tip of the end of the sheath. We're going to insert the tip of the blade into the sheath. We do this outside our pants for safety's sake. and we just slide that in until we click, and then we want to give it a little squeeze at the mouth to make sure that everything's seated, and then this thing's not coming out of here. And then when we're finished, tucks right back in the pants. You can't even tell that it's there. So that's our carry option. That's how to go ahead and set the knife up for carry with the lanyard system and whatnot. And then of course, it's easy off. We just do everything in reverse, pass the knife back through that hole, and now the knife is off of us. If we aren't wearing the knife, because these are sharp all the way up to the heel, like I've said before, if the knife doesn't have a choil on it, and it came from me, it's going to be sharp all the way up to the heel. And like I said, if that's an issue for you, it's very easy to dull down that heel with a Dremel or whatever sharpening system or stone you happen to prefer or have in-house. So that's going to be an issue for you. Very quick, easy fix. I like them sharp. Obviously, it's easier to send them out sharp and have users dull them down if that's going to be a concern. So something to be aware of. And because of that, as I mentioned in previous videos, this is how we want to sheath and unsheath the knife if we aren't actually wearing it. We got our lanyard here. What we're going to do is pass our hand through this cord right here, goes over the back of the hand, and then now we just grip the sheath like this. Or you can just, just so you're down near the tip of the sheath. We want to keep this hand away from the party at the mouth of the sheath because, like I said before in previous videos, we don't have a grommet here, otherwise you'd never be able to get the knife out of the sheath. Problem with that being, when the knife breaks out of the sheath, the tip can traverse this area, and like I've mentioned before, bad news for your index finger. You'd be taking a trip to the ER if that's the case. So this is for the sake of safety right here. And now we've got the knife in our hand, we need to deploy it. It's not attached to us. We just grab the ring, the knife's out, deployed, ready to access. So we've now gone over safety, and let's just hit the features on the knife. Basically, this is a ring dagger. Ring daggers are pretty ancient design. They come from ancient China. They have been around about pretty much forever, for hundreds and hundreds of years. If you are familiar with Spartan Knives Sock P dagger, same exact manual of arms applies to this knife as applies to that. So if you're familiar with that knife, you already know how to use it. You don't have to learn anything else. There are some added bonuses to this knife. Let's go over the actual knife itself now. This knife is 7 inches in overall length. It has a sub 3-inch blade. It's just a hair under 3 inches from the tip to the actual heel. It is sharp all the way up to the heel, as you can see right there. It's got the AK logo machined into this inlet here. It has inlets on both sides on the handle to reduce weight. I don't know what the actual weight on this thing is because I haven't weighed it yet, but it weighs damn near nothing. It's real light. You don't even realize you're carrying it, and that's the ideal thrust for a knife that you're going to have on yourself all the time, basically. That way you have it with you when you need it. You don't leave it at home when you do need it. Reduced weight because of the inlets on the size of the handle. It's got a Colubris blade on it, actually, if you're familiar with the original Colubris. This is the same exact blade, except we've shrunk it down to sub 3 inches. Like I said, just a hair under 3 inches. This knife is 0.1875 inches thick, 3/16 thick. This one has a tumbled finish. They're also available DLC coated from Ion Bond, available in black, flat dark earth, and anthracite gray. Is going to be a new available option as well. So those are going to be coming out here pretty soon. This is a single-edged knife. In addition to that, I can sharpen this portion of the swedge right here. Don't like to sharpen it up all the way. And like I said, they're single-edged so that they are civilian legal. That's more like a thrust with this knife. One of the issues with the Spartan Knife Sock P dagger, which is kick-ass and I do love, is that it's a double-edged dagger. So for military guys, that's not so much an issue, or law enforcement, not so much an issue. But if you're a civilian, you happen to have to use your knife in a self-defense situation, that's bad news for you in court, plus not legal for civilian carry. So these standard are single-edged. Another advantage with this drop tip is that you can see how thick that is right there, while we still have a cutting edge that's pretty acute and fine. So we've got a nice reinforced armor-piercing tip here. It gives us a stronger tip, so the knife's less prone to damage or breakage. So it's a very strong design. And then in addition, we've got this spur here on the ring. This gives us some alternative force applications, opponent control, pain compliance, and non-lethal force options, basically. This knife works pretty much in all of our standard grips. I mean, you know, you can flip it around, get crazy. As you can see, the spur doesn't interfere at all with the flipping of the knife. You can, you know, do your crazy extensions and flips and whatnot like you would do with a karambit. You know, most guys are going to hold on to the knife, I think, but if you're a K-bit guy, you're an FMA guy, like to flip stuff around, that spur's not an issue. And also the added advantage to the spurs, if you happen to be holding it like this and you're doing extensions, that gives you something additional to brace your thumb against. So, and you can see, flips real easy. And then for traction, we've got jimping here on the spine of the knife, right here in our finger choil area, and then right here at the base of the ring. So we've got all kinds of traction options. You can hold this thing in a wide array of different grips, and it works just fine. And because it's so small, it's not a double-edged dagger, it's diminutive, so it doesn't freak people out. You know, if you need to pull this thing out, open a box, open a letter, you know, open some chips or what have you, no one's going to freak out when you pull this little guy out. It's tiny, it doesn't look like anything, so reduces the spaz factor there. But that's it. We've covered how to set up the lanyard, what the knife is going to come with, our carriage options, safety, and then features on these knives. These knives are going for $199 shipped for the tumbled finish, and $229 shipped for our DLC coated from Ion Bond options. Again, available in black, flat dark earth, and anthracite gray. So there it is, American Kami, Omaha, Nebraska, the new GITFO knife. First batch is sold out, second batch is in the process right now, should be ready to drop around the end of April. Hoping to have these available for Blade Show and make this a constant stocked item. We'll see how that goes, but we're making great progress on that. These knives are really coming out great. I've been really pleased with them. So that's it, CPM 35, CPM S35 VN steel on these, Rockwell hardness of 58 to 60, so a great hardness for the knives, and that's it. I think that covers everything. Again, I'm DJ Urbanovsky, American Kami Custom Blades, Omaha, Nebraska. Stay safe, America.